My name's Aron Ralston. My parents are Donna and Larry Ralston of Englewood, Colorado. Whoever finds this, please make an attempt to get it to them. Be sure of it. I would appreciate it.
It was May 1st, 2003, the day Aron Ralston quietly pressed record on his small video camera, believing it might be the last thing he ever did. For 5 long days, he had been trapped in Blue John Canyon, Utah, his right arm crushed beneath an 800-pound boulder that had shifted without warning during a routine climb. It showed Aron speaking softly to his family, apologizing, reflecting, and trying to make peace with the life he thought he was about to lose. His water was gone. His food was long finished. He had resorted to drinking his own urine to survive.
I have very, very little water. My body's having difficulty controlling its temperature. I'm in deep stuff. It's pretty much suicide. It's 4 hours from here to my vehicle. Climbing would probably be impossible with one hand. The blood loss and my dehydration, I think, are ruling that out. I think I would die if I cut my arm.
As the sun rose and set over the canyon walls, he grew weaker, colder, and painfully aware that no one knew where he was. But by the 5th day, something inside him shifted. With no other options and death closing in, Aron made an unthinkable decision: to free himself, no matter the cost.
Jesus. I tried cutting my arm off. I couldn't even barely break the skin with this stupid knife. I tried a couple different blades, and all I did was just mark myself up. I could barely even get any blood to draw.
He began to study his situation with a new kind of clarity. He realized he didn't need to saw through his bone with the dull knife he carried. The boulder itself was positioned in a way that allowed him to snap the bones in his arm using its weight. Once they were broken, he could cut through the remaining tissue and muscle. And that's exactly what he did.
It came to me, this epiphany, that I could break the bones, because my arm was caught so tightly that I could torque myself.
He would have to snap both of the bones in his arm to make it work.
Using the boulder's weight, he deliberately snapped the bones in his trapped arm, a sound that echoed through the canyon like a final verdict. Then, with his dull multi-tool knife, he began to cut through flesh, muscle, and tendon. The procedure lasted about an hour. Every second was agony, but the will to live was stronger.
And then, boom, and I wasn't even attached anymore, and I fell down like this, and I was free.
When it was done, Aron rappelled down a 65-foot drop using his remaining arm and hiked miles through the desert until he encountered a family who was hiking and notified authorities. And finally, 4 hours after the amputation, the rescue helicopter team reached Ralston. If that had taken any longer, he would have died from the blood loss. Ralston's story with the video he recorded became both a raw glimpse into a man facing death and crucial evidence that helped reconstruct the timeline of his ordeal. His survival shook the outdoor community. It led to sweeping changes in wilderness preparedness protocols, including mandatory trip plans and stricter safety guidelines for solo adventurers in Utah's canyonlands. But beyond the policies and headlines, Aron's decision remains one of the most extraordinary examples of human endurance and the primal will to survive. Proof that even in the most unforgiving places on Earth, hope can be carved out of the impossible. Aron's story shows what happens when nature strikes without warning. The next one shows what happens when someone decides to unleash it. This Halloween, we're doing something we've never done before. All week long, you can complete challenges to earn points. The top scorer wins the ultimate prize. Here's how it works. Post your scariest CreepyVids moment on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Ask people to subscribe. Use the hashtag #CreepyHalloween and tag our channels with the links in the description. That's 30 points per post, 1 per day. Leave comments under CreepyVids, ScaryVids, or DeepVids videos. Up to 3 comments per video count, worth 5 points each. Invite a friend to subscribe. If they leave a comment saying, "I joined thanks to," you'll get 10 points for every new subscriber. Watch carefully for the hidden word. Each day, a letter will appear, with the final letter revealed in the October 31st Halloween special. Guess the full word and email it to us for 20 points. Join in every single day, and you'll earn a 25-point loyalty bonus. And on Halloween night, a special bonus challenge will be revealed in the CreepyVids Halloween special. And winners will be announced on November 3rd. Third place gets a CreepyVids t-shirt of your choice. Second place also gets a CreepyVids t-shirt of your choice. And the first place will get an $25 Amazon gift card plus CreepyVids t-shirt of your choice. Let's see who stayed the most active. Let the best fans win. Somewhere on a private farm in the Libyan capital, Tripoli, a group of African migrant workers were simply going about their day when the man who employed them decided to turn their fear into his entertainment. With a camera rolling, he walked toward a cage on his property and opened it. Inside was a lion, lean, restless, and far from tame. What happened next spread across the world within hours. The man released the animal and laughed as the workers began to scream and run. The lion advanced, closing the distance with unsettling calm, while the man's mocking voice echoed behind the camera. He called it a joke. To the terrified workers, it was anything but.
ارقد على بطنك. سعادة بابا. ها؟ سعادة. هاي نوز تفك روحك صعيدي. نوز تفك روحك بسرعة.
The videos quickly reached social media platforms, sparking outrage in multiple countries. Human rights advocates, migrant groups, and animal welfare organizations condemned the footage as an act of cruelty, not only toward the workers, but toward the animal itself. The laughter of the man behind the camera, the farm owner, revealed something far darker than a prank. It showed power being used as a weapon, aimed at people who had none. Despite the terrifying nature of the incident, authorities confirmed that none of the workers were physically harmed. The lion was eventually contained before it could attack, but the danger was real, and authorities in Libya could not ignore it. Within days, the country's public prosecutor confirmed that the man filming the video had been identified and arrested. According to official statements, he faces charges including endangering human life, terrorizing citizens, and causing psychological harm. He is also under investigation for illegal possession of a wild animal. The victim shown most clearly in the first footage was an Egyptian migrant worker, part of a larger group of sub-Saharan and North African migrants working on the farm. None of them had any protection, no formal labor rights, and, like many migrants in Libya, no safe way to speak out. The incident has drawn global attention not just for its cruelty, but because it highlights two long-standing crises in Libya: the widespread abuse of vulnerable migrant workers and the lack of regulation around dangerous exotic animals. For years, human rights groups have documented forced labor, torture, and exploitation of migrants in the country, and this video became another grim example of their vulnerability. At the same time, weak or non-existent wildlife laws have allowed the illegal keeping of predators, like lions, turning living creatures into tools of intimidation. International outrage has been swift. Advocacy groups are calling for legal action, stronger protections for migrant workers, and proper handling of the animals involved. The farm owner remains in custody, and the lion has reportedly been removed from the property. For those who lived through it, the terror was real. And for the world, the footage stands as a chilling reminder of how power, unchecked, can turn both people and animals into victims. But cruelty takes many forms. And in this next story, it unfolded in front of thousands, inside a boxing ring.
Good right hand by Williams.
Big body shot there from Colon.
That's it.
He was born to fight. Pritchard Colon, a proud Puerto Rican boxer born in 1992, carried a promise that burned bright. With lightning-fast hands, powerful combinations, and an iron will, he carved his way through the professional ranks with an undefeated record of 16 wins, 13 of them by knockout. For fans and commentators, he wasn't just good, he was a future world champion in the making. But on October 17, 2015, everything changed. That night in Fairfax, Virginia, Colon stepped into the ring to face Terrell Williams. Both men were undefeated. The fight was supposed to be a showcase, two promising fighters testing each other's limits. Instead, it became one of the most haunting nights in modern boxing.
And landed that right hand. Just shows he's pretty sharp. In his fifth round, he's still coming in the judge's eyes on his part.
With that in mind, I mean, we're here.
Come on.
Good left hook. Williams is doing an awesome job here. Determination, motivation. He wants to win.
And Colon drops down to his knees. The crowd is furious right now. The ref calls time. Right hand, and yeah, I mean, that was directly to the back of the head.
It's a heavy shot.
From the opening bell, Williams repeatedly landed illegal rabbit punches, blows to the back of Colon's head, a vulnerable area that can cause severe brain damage. Colon winced and stumbled with each impact. His corner pleaded with the referee to step in, but no point was taken. No warning given that could have changed the momentum of the fight.
I mean, we've seen how Chris Colon looked in early in the round. Williams has warned.
Wow. He's got him. Williams is unloading on Colon. He puts him down. But you see that big punch right there directly to the chin. Another one, a third one. He's driving him back again.
He doesn't know how to deal with the guy like Williams.
Again. Colon is down. Final 10 seconds.
Round after round, the damage accumulated. The crowd booed, some thinking Colon was exaggerating. Even the commentators joked. But what they didn't know was that inside Pritchard's skull, the trauma was already building. His footwork slowed, his balance wavered, and then came another crushing blow to the back of his head. This time, he stayed down longer, clutching his skull, struggling to stand. The ringside doctor gave him only a brief check, and the fight should have continued.
Is that it? They're taking off his gloves.
I think they think the round was the 10th round.
That was the last round.
Oh boy, this is a disaster.
They thought it was the last round.
This is horrific for Williams. They're trying to lace his gloves back up.
Oh man, that's devastating. This is
unbelievable.
Stop, they waved it. Yes, that's agreeable.
That's
totally
it.
agreeable.
It is over, ladies and gentlemen.
Thinking the fight was over, Colon's team began removing his gloves. Realizing their mistake too late, they tried to fix it, but the referee disqualified him. What should have been his 17th fight ended in a technical loss. But while no one noticed, something else was also setting in, something that would change his life in ways no one could have imagined. Moments after leaving the ring, Pritchard collapsed in the locker room. He began vomiting. He couldn't respond. Pritchard was rushed to the hospital, where scans revealed a massive brain bleed. Emergency surgery followed, but the damage was catastrophic. Pritchard fell into a coma that would last 221 days. And when he finally opened his eyes, he was in a permanent vegetative state. The boxing world was stunned, an undefeated star, now unable to speak, walk, or care for himself. His family became his lifeline, providing 24-hour care, documenting every small flicker of progress, refusing to give up hope even when doctors said there was none. The aftermath exposed deep cracks in the system. The referee who failed to enforce the rules, the ringside doctor who cleared an injured fighter to continue, the lack of accountability. Despite lawsuits and public outrage, no one has ever been held legally responsible. Williams continued his career. The promoters moved on, but Prichard did not. His story has become a symbol, a reminder of the brutal cost of combat sports when safety fails. Today, years later, Prichard lives under the constant care of his devoted family. His mother, Neves, has transformed their home into a space where every detail of his care is carefully managed, from daily physical therapy to specialized medical equipment that keeps him stable. He cannot walk or speak, but through subtle movements, a blink, the faintest twitch of his fingers, his loved ones find traces of the fighter still inside. Though the doctors have long said there's little hope for a full recovery, his family refuses to accept that as the end of his story. They celebrate the smallest signs of progress, posting updates that remind the world that Prichard is still here, still fighting in his own quiet way. The cost, however, is immense. Beyond the emotional toll, his care requires round-the-clock medical support, advanced therapy, and constant monitoring. Years of legal battles have brought no real justice, and those who allowed the tragedy to unfold remain untouched. Meanwhile, his name continues to echo through the boxing world, not for the titles he could have won, but for the warning his story carries. Fighters, coaches, referees, and fans alike look to his case as a painful example of how a single night can shatter a future. Prichard Colon was once one of the brightest prospects in boxing. Now, he is a living reminder of what happens when the system meant to protect fighters doesn't. But even in silence, he continues to fight, not for championships, but for every small piece of life left to hold on to. And now, this next moment shares something in common: pain building quietly until it couldn't be hidden anymore. The night of June 18, 2011 was meant to be a celebration, another stop on a comeback tour that many hoped would mark a new beginning for Amy Winehouse. Instead, it became a haunting final chapter. Under the summer sky at Kalemegdan Fortress in Belgrade, Serbia, thousands of fans gathered, waiting for her to step onto the stage. When she finally appeared, the cheers were loud, but something was wrong.
Belgrade! Introducing it's never safe for us, not even in the evening, when I've been drinking.
The band tried to keep the show together, but the unease in the crowd was undeniable.
Didn't actually write it, I wrote it, didn't I? Lovely. Okay, can I ask you something? As an audience, yeah? Don't you think they look so handsome, like this?
A month later, on July 23rd, Amy was gone. Medical examiners confirmed what the world feared. She died of alcohol poisoning in her London home, with a blood alcohol level 5 times the legal limit. She was 27 years old. But in the hours before her death, Amy had picked up her phone and left a voicemail for her longtime friend and producer Salam Remy.
I miss you. Call me. Where are you? Come on. Call me back. If you don't, I don't know what to do. Because you're with somebody else. I'm gonna come and run up and kill both of you.
Remy would later describe it as heartbreakingly normal. There was no panic in her voice, no warning sign of the tragedy that was about to unfold. It was simply Amy, a brilliant, troubled artist still dreaming of what might come next. Her final performance and that last voicemail would become defining moments in how the world remembered her. The Belgrade concert is now often seen as a public cry for help that the industry, and perhaps the world, didn't know how to answer. Her death triggered a wave of grief and introspection, forcing conversations about the pressures placed on artists battling private demons. In the aftermath, her family created the Amy Winehouse Foundation, dedicated to supporting young people struggling with addiction. Promoters quietly began introducing more wellness checks for touring artists. And around the world, fans continued to play her music, the sound of a woman whose voice could fill a room, but whose pain too often went unseen. That night in Belgrade and that final voicemail remain powerful reminders. Behind the spotlight, even the brightest stars can be fighting battles no one fully understands. But not every unsettling story happens under bright lights. In this next clip, it began quietly, inside a family home. AMZ is a creator best known for lighthearted, funny TikToks. His content is usually filled with everyday humor, the kind people scroll past with a smile. But recently, something changed. It started when his little sister began talking about imaginary friends, something innocent, something normal for a child her age. At first, no one thought much of it. Kids imagine things all the time, but then she started to draw them. And that's when everything began to feel different.
Wait, what are you going to show me?
My picture I drew.
Your picture you drew?
That's Daddy, that's Mummy, and that's me.
And what's that?
That's Steve.
Steve?
Yeah, Steve.
Who's Steve?
My friend.
Your imaginary friend?
My best friend.
Your best friend Steve? You've got a best friend that looks like this?
It's my best friend Steve.
Okay. I'm leaving the house.
But that wasn't the last thing he would share. In the next update, his sister revealed another drawing, one that raised even more questions.
Mama said you got 2 imaginary friends.
No, I've got 2 best friends.
You've got 2 best friends?
Yeah, 2. Do you want me to show you the picture?
Who's that?
That's Steve.
Yeah.
That's Margaret.
And who's that?
That's you.
That's me?
Yeah.
No, but you spelt my name wrong.
Yeah, but that's you.
That's me?
Yeah, with your mustache and your eyebrows.
My eyebrows?
Yeah.
My eyebrows look like that?
Yeah, your bushy eyebrows.
Wait, so why have you drawn this for?
Because Steve doesn't like you.
Steve doesn't like me?
Yeah, but Margaret likes you.
Margaret likes me?
Look, she's holding your hand.
She's holding my hand? She's eating me. Are you sure Margaret likes me?
Yeah, she's holding your hand.
Do I need to be worried?
No.
No.
The figures she sketched weren't typical doodles. They were oddly specific, repeated faces, strange shapes, and they even had names. The more she talked, the more unsettling it became. Her friends had backstories, things a child shouldn't know. AMZ began filming pieces of it, almost as a joke at first. But over time, the tone shifted. What had started as light content slowly turned into something far more chilling. And now, millions of viewers are wondering the same thing. Is it just a child's imagination? Or is something else happening in that house? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now we move on to this last story. It isn't about something unexplained. It's about something tragically human.
The beginning of my day, I was the happiest girl in the world. The ending of my night, definitely the saddest girl in the world.
October 12, 2024 was supposed to be a day Tyreek Burton and his wife would remember forever. For 7 beautiful hours, they celebrated a life they had built together. They laughed, danced, and shared a night filled with joy and promise. But as the celebration drew to a close, that joy was violently stolen.
He and his new wife had been together for 16 years, had 4 daughters between them, and were making plans to expand their family even more.
Tyreek left the wedding venue under the impression that his wife had already gone home. But when she called to say she was still there, he turned his car around to go back for her. According to witnesses, the shooter fired at least 15 rounds before fleeing. The senseless nature of the attack has left the community reeling. Many believe there's more to the story, because shooting someone 15 times over a minor traffic incident isn't just rage. It's cold-blooded. Tyreek's family, devastated and searching for answers, has offered a $50,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest. His death is more than a headline. It is the story of a father, a husband, a man who had just started a new chapter with the woman he loved. A night meant to mark the beginning of forever turned into a scene of unimaginable tragedy. As the wedding footage circulates online, showing Tyreek and his wife dancing and smiling, the contrast is devastating. What was once a symbol of love is now a haunting reminder of how quickly joy can be ripped away, and how one act of violence can shatter an entire future. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.